Hey yo guys, how are you doing? Do you hear that? That's the sound of adventure and discovery. A journey that will take us across the seas and into the dark depths of the PSN store to dig up some hidden gems. So let's go on an epic journey together and find the best of the best PSN games to buy before the PS3 store closes. So grab yourself some pizza and a coffee, kick back and make yourself comfortable, and let's get the kick out of gaming. As always, we are kicking off this list with some of your recommendations, starting with Bloodline Betrayal. As a fan of the 3D Bloodline games, I missed out on Betrayal until now, and after your recommendation, I decided to finally give it a try. Bloodline Betrayal is a 2D side-scrolling action game. Like in the 3D games, we play as the half-vampire who is trying to stop a group of evil vampires from taking over the world. The plot is a bit on the generic side, but I gotta say, the gameplay is where it's at. While I was playing the first few levels, I was dying countless times, so be prepared for an old school difficulty. And I gotta say, the sound effect when you get hit sounds familiar. I can't put my finger on it. Anyways, I'm down for a challenging 2D side-scroller, so I will keep playing Betrayal. And if that sounds interesting to you, you can check it out with the free demo in the PSN store. And give this addictive title a try to test your endurance. The next recommendation has already suffered a fate worse than being put on PSN now. It has been delisted from the online stores. Godzilla. And as a harsh reminder on what happens when exclusives get delisted, its physical price has skyrocketed. So my tip for this game, be on the lookout for a cheap copy on backyard sales. Because it's a ton of fun, messing around as Godzilla and wrecking cities while fighting other monsters. While Godzilla's movement is a bit sluggish, it also gives you this authentic feel of what Godzilla should move like in a game. This game will let you trample and lay waste to cities and environments as the king of monsters. I think we should make destruction and huge monsters a theme for this video. So let's kick off this top 10 list with a PS1 classic, Fighting Force. It's 1997, I just came home from school, booted up my PS1 with this new demo disc inside. And there was this game that caught my eye, Fighting Force. Little did I knew that I would play this demo to infinity and beyond while eating pizza and having a good time. Fighting Force takes us to the streets to get down and dirty old school beat 'em up style. This game has the gritty Fight Club-esque feel. The beatdown neighborhood fits the small levels perfectly. Beating up goons with everyday objects like pipes, bottles and weapon pickups. Add a bit of destructible environment to the mix and you have an absolute banger. It's a simple beat 'em up that never gets old, especially in couch co-op. And you guys might not know it yet, but you're about to witness one of the greatest fighting games of all time.
BCV! Battle Construction Tables!
This game is absolutely hilarious. The over-the-top cheesy anime story that sends us on an epic quest to form the greatest construction crew of all time is nothing short of epic. We try to convince the most skilled constructioneers to work for our company by beating them in construction vehicle duels. And this story has more twists and turns than Metal Gear Solid. From price fixing to see construction vehicles fight to K9 construction masters teaching us some tricks, this game goes above and beyond. And don't get me started on the gameplay. There are some next level finishing moves that would make the Evo crowd go wild. And the icing on the cake is the so bad it's good, hilarious English voice acting. The only downside is that the gameplay needs some getting used to. The construction vehicles control more or less like construction vehicles, slow, clunky and tough to maneuver. This makes the gameplay a bit more strategic and slow paced. All attacks have a wind up, so just rubbing the vehicles into each other isn't going to do the trick. Keep some distance and keep on pressing the attack buttons to unleash their full destructive power. Don't let this absolute masterpiece slip under your radar. And when we are done tearing each other apart with construction vehicles, it's time to level the city in the next PlayStation 3 digital exclusive game, Eat Them. It's a great pick up and play button masher, in the style of the old school Rampage games. The gameplay is simple. We are controlling a massive mutant creature rampaging through various cities, destroying buildings, trampling the armed forces and eating little old ladies. Thanks to the cel-shaded 3D look and the comic style cutscenes, Eat Them did age like a fine wine. The catch in this game is that you can build your own monster out of wacky body parts that you collect throughout the levels, which you can then add to your beast in the monster lab. The gameplay can get a bit repetitive, but if you consume the over-the-top destruction and fun multiplayer in small doses, you will have an absolute blast with Eat Them. So, we made it halfway through this list, so it's the perfect time to take a breather and play one of the best PlayStation exclusive games out there, Shadow of the Colossus. This game already got a remake on the PS4, but what makes the PlayStation 3 version unique is the 3D feature. It takes fighting these colossi to the next level. Nothing is more immersive than stabbing those monsters in their glowing parts than playing this game in glorious 3D. Shadow of the Colossus has this incredible atmosphere. From the moment the game starts, from the very first tunes of the opening cinematic, you feel that there is something truly special waiting for you. One of the few games where I really enjoy just riding through the lonely open world. It's always breathtaking. And when the last Colossus falls, it's time to climb a tower in Quantum Theory. I picked this one up for under $5 because it looked interesting and I have a soft spot for cover-based shooters. And I ended up finding a hidden gem. In this game we are getting pushed in a hostile world, trying to survive and get to the top of a murderous living tower where we have to fight monsters while the ever-changing levels retract our cover and rearrange the floors to push us into lethal situations. While everything is trying to kill us, we witness several factions fighting each other for the power over this twisted palace in a very unique and interesting story. And I was getting really immersed into this power struggle. Despite the mediocre gameplay that feels a bit off, it's the truly unique art style, enemy design and compelling story that kept me playing. And launching your girlfriend at goons never gets old. For the first playthrough I recommend the easy difficulty, because it will make your 5 hours playthrough much more enjoyable. Quantum Theory is an unpolished but very original gem. It's still a bit pricey on PSN, so I recommend you hunt down the physical version. The next game on this list is another PS3 exclusive, a very unique platformer with no loose strings. A game that you guys keep recommending. Puppeteer is one of those magical and mystical games. Unlike many other platformers, Puppeteer is story driven. We play as Kutaro, a boy whose soul has been stolen and turned into a puppet by the Moon Bear, who proceeds to eat our head. What the frickin'? So we are set for a dark fairy tale like journey. Tasked to gather different heads, anything from skulls to bananas, and finding different special items, like a pair of legendary scissors, which can be used to travel around the scenes and defeat enemies. This provides some of that unique and interesting gameplay that makes Puppeteer a cut above the rest. As the title suggests, the whole game is set up as a puppet show. You can hear the crowd laughing and there is a theatrical voiceover that narrates our journey. with great voice acting and an amazing soundtrack. Puppeteer is a dark but charming puppet play and one of the PS3 exclusive hidden gems you have to play, like the next game on this list, Resistance 2. The Resistance trilogy began and ended on the PlayStation 3 and is one of the defining and must-own games on your PS3. And since the best one, Resistance 3, is a physical only, this place goes to part 2 in the Resistance series. This was the time Resistance really came into its own and took off as a series. A linear shooter with a bit of horror and non-stop action, fighting huge towering monsters all across the globe, from city-destroying behemoths to kraken with drilling tentacles. I always loved the monster design in the Resistance games, and apart from the setting in alternate history World War II, what made Resistance so much fun were the weapons and their alternative fire modes. It made the firefights so much more intense, and the game can get quite challenging, especially on the higher difficulties. So you better take full advantage of your firepower. And while the world is coming to an end, it's the perfect time to bring out our Mad Max style cars and race some goons to become the Motorstorm champion in Motorstorm Apocalypse. I freaking love Motorstorm Apocalypse. This game is an absolute blast in every sense of the word. It's a total package, from the addicting and fun gameplay to the incredible level design. The tracks change while you race them, huge skyscrapers collapse around you and you have to find new ways to finish the race. It keeps things fresh and always keeps you on the edge of your seat. One time there is a collapsing bridge and the next time an earthquake is leveling every skyscraper on the track. And to top things off, you can race a freaking monster truck through the debris of a world falling apart. This is a fun arcade racer for most of the time. There are some cheap crashes that seem hard to avoid, but overall, Motorstorm Apocalypse is exciting and thrilling and awesomely fun from the moment you start playing. In contrary, our next protagonist doesn't know the meaning of fun, but he knows how to rip and tear through the Greek mythology. God of War Ascension. The time Ascension was released, a lot of us were suffering from God of War overdose. Too many games in a short time span. But now, years later, I booted up Ascension and oh boy, the angry over-the-top Spartan is more fun than ever. Full of anger and ready to unleash a smackdown of massive proportions. While the world breaks apart around us, we are getting smashed through walls only to tear a mythological hand monster to pieces before it gets eaten by an even bigger beast. This is pure spectacle. And that is what I love about the old Kratos games. Their hard-hitting hack and slash combat combined with the old school, more agile God of War gameplay style. Ascension is one of the best looking games on PlayStation 3 and the final game of the OG God of War series. And for only $10, it's a perfect climax of action and brutality with no equals. And now, the final place, as always, is reserved for a physical PlayStation 3 exclusive game, Time Crisis Razing Storm. And keeping the theme of towering monsters for this video, we released the Kraken for the second time. The Time Crisis Razing Storm disc comes bundled with 3 light gun games, and it's an absolute blast. Literally. Razing Storm, Time Crisis 4 and Dead Storm Pirates. All of them are awesome railgun shooters and work great with the PlayStation Move controller. And no light gun shooter is complete without terrible voice acting. These games are awesome and the most fun I've had in split screen co-op for a long time. And with that said, we finish another PlayStation 3 video. Thanks for watching and the overwhelming support on my last few videos. I'm glad you guys are in for the adventure. And as always, let me know which PlayStation 3 games are you buying before the store closes. which games are essential PSN games that you would recommend. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, kick the like button, sharing is caring, and subscribe. But most importantly, have a great day and get the kick out of gaming.
Remain refined at all times. Heavy machinery should always move with grace.